You each have over 30 years experience in the UK real estate market, so what are the factors driving values in the market right now?
The market can be broken down into two parts in the UK. There's London and the rest. Outside of London, there's little activity and little growth. Within London, there are various sectors that are exhibiting growth, and I would categorise those as residential, where we've seen increased demand from Far Eastern investors and also from Europe through some of the troubled regions there. We know this ourselves as we've been developing a residential development in the Strand, some 86 units, and we've been very successful in the pre-sales with those two international investors. In Oxford Street, again, we've seen a strong return in retail growth. Again, I think it's fueled by tourism. Again, the value of the pound has probably got something to do with that, but our major holding up at the eastern end has certainly been benefiting along with others in that stretch. London offices, the city market and the West End have seen increased demand from financial services and other institutions as they've recovered. But I think that is really due to a lack of grade A office space, and they're taking advantage to reorganise the corporate structures. And finally, there are various other little subsectors, and one I would highlight is student housing. And again, the international influx of overseas students wishing to study in London is driving that market.
Of course, Frogmore's been in existence for half a century, so what's the business philosophy that drives the company in its modern incarnation?
Well, we start with our name, Frogmore. We call ourselves Frogmore Property Properly because that's what we do, property properly. It's pretty much run on a sort of family feel to the business. We're not a family business, but we've all been around a long time. The directors, there are 6 directors. We have 30 years average each in the industry, and 15 years of those working together. The business made a transition from being a public company, where we were public for 30 years, to a private company from 2001 to 2006, and then into fund management. And we have 40 people running 2 funds, the first fund from 2006 and our second fund that we closed in 2009.
So Frogmore has evolved in recent years, but how has it adjusted its game plan to meet the uncertainties of the market?
Well, I think principally the due diligence and the appraisal and the underwriting of deals has changed dramatically. Everyone goes into much, much more detail now than ever before. That's partly us, partly any banks. We very much have the control of all the issues that are connected with property in-house. So it doesn't matter whether it's asset management, development, construction, planning, banking, finance, funding. It's all done from an in-house team. And Frogmore is really well known for its sort of hands-on approach. It's a sort of get your hands dirty way of dealing with property rather than any financial management.
So why invest in UK property? What's the business case?
I think there are a number. I think firstly is liquidity. The market has a good turnover. The statistics are saying that in the last 12 months, approximately £35 billion was transacted. We are politically stable. The economy is steadily emerging from the recession, and the coalition are taking a very firm stance on that, and I think that has given a level of confidence to the market. It's mature, so we have a good level of professionals, of lawyers, the accountants, the brokers, so that you can buy with confidence in the sector. And I think that there is increasingly appeal from overseas investors because of this sort of safe haven place, when that's also demonstrated in the figures of the 35 billion, some 11.7 billion of the turnover has been from overseas people. So I think that again is proof of the attractions of the market.
So what might be a typical deal for you?
Typical deal for us is, first of all, we're stock pickers and not trend followers. So we buy one-off deals. We're looking for deal size of 10 to 50 million, IRRs of between 15 and 18%. We've bought things that are office buildings, shopping centres, industrial estates, leisure, retirement parks, student accommodation, and we have quite a large holding in Oxford Street, 22 buildings there in a joint venture with Land Securities. And I suppose that we would say that we look at deals where we can add value. That's the only thing we're looking for, where we can get in, get on and get out, buying something that adds value.
So a big question to end on, what's the outlook for the UK market going forward?
I think it's an unsettled market. I think it's going to be difficult for a few years to come, but there are deals to be done. And what we pride ourselves on is finding deals that we can do, and that's our sole focus.
Stuart Jenkin, Paul White, thank you very much.
Thank you.